talking to one another. And they think, well, I don't do all that talking. Yeah, you do. You just do it with a telephone. You do it probably a lot longer than we do. So after a while, I made it my thing to sort of be a friendly channel, a channel for people who just like to hear people talk about things and carve and whittle, and because if you were sitting here beside me, this is the way it would be. You see what the pressure though, a little bit of pressure that I'm putting on that knife and cutting this nose out, and that's what you want. See, like right here, see it? And the knife is sharp, so you want your knife to be sharp. Okay. I'm gonna draw a little thing here where I make for my face. We're gonna come here and cut that. That's to get our face away from our head and make our and you want to be real careful in here. But I finally decided to make my channel about carving and about whittling and teaching us a few things, but just to enjoy conversation and talking about the things. You people have been through a lot with me. The losing of my house, things like that. I was carving over at my mother's, and I had lost my house at that time and stuff. I think people just, like I said, I know a lot of young people today cannot feel what a lot of older people like myself feel when they don't have anyone to talk to. And even though I have a lot of people to talk to. I talk to people all the time on Facebook and stuff like that send me messages, and so I have a lot of people I talk to. Most of it pertaining to carving, and that's what I want. But that's why I made my Facebook site, Let's Talk Carving, because that's what I wanted to do. And so, okay, I'm gonna do my little ears on both sides. But I'm an old-fashioned thing, you know. I'm not the new. I haven't changed. I'm not the new guy anymore, and I don't. I'm still got my old format. And if my subscribers drop off, well, they drop off. But that's not where my success comes from anyway. So just having a good time, and I've had people tell me that make us feel at home, and that's good. Okay, I'm gonna do my little Kind of cut away here. So we do our little ears. Now when you get down to these small figures, doing them ears, you really have to practice on that. It's just, and I do my little ears different. I do them in the flat plane way. But you really have to be careful in those ears. See how I'm just barely cutting that. So you got to be real careful. Now, would I want to go back to those times? Probably not. I mean, they were simpler. I admit that, and I thank God for the internet and those things, you know, because I enjoy those things. I've never been able to reach out to people for Whittling if I didn't have it. But you just had to live in those times and seeing how simpler things were and understand it. And let me look at that a little bit high. I'll cut back on these a little bit. Okay, that looks far better. And seen it, how it was done, and understood it. Seems like it was a lot less stressful back then. I don't know, maybe it's because we just didn't have 24-hour news. The news loves to keep things stirred up, so I think a lot of people, like I said, it was a more peaceful time, yeah, because people just we didn't have bad news every day from the media and stuff. So people, you know, they knew that things were going on. They knew that war had gone on. They knew that those things had gone on, but it's just not as stressful. All right, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go ahead and from one ear to another, I'm going to go ahead and put him bald back here a little bit. But unfortunately, people, I'm going to tell you, you think to yourself, as a young person, communication doesn't mean much to you now, really doesn't, because you've got your phone and you've got your stuff and stuff. But when you get older and you don't have the people there as much anymore and stuff, you found out how much you miss, you know, being able to communicate with people in a way that is very personal. I laugh a lot of times. I see these women talking on these dating apps. They're talking about these dating apps, and they find all these weird guys on these dating apps and they don't know about it. Well, yeah, it's because we always found somebody by meeting them and getting to know them and stuff. And so what do you expect? All right, see, I got the little let me see. That's why those type of things turn out like that, because you don't really have a personal relationship with those people. And I want to tell you something. When you're sitting there looking at somebody and they're talking to you, you can tell a lot by how a person looks. You can tell if they're lying or not too. So it's there's a big difference. Okay, look at this. We're getting there. Getting his look and his face. We're going to go ahead and just make our little age lines right here. And cut that. That's why a lot of people on the internet can lie to you and you never know it. Now they got all these little things that they can, like people on dating apps or whatever it is. They got these, I didn't even know anything about it, these filters where these women can filter out what they really look like. I got tickled when I read about that one time. And men too. In other words, filter out that they're, where they look like they're 100 pounds and they're 300 pounds and stuff. And I'm going, well, okay. But then I guess with everybody living the dream, well, we all have to look right, don't we? So, all right, now look at that. Look, here we go. Let me cut this little mouth in there. Ooh, be careful. Here we go. I cut down. Make another, there you go. There's a little mouth in there. See how careful I am though with each cut. And you may not know it, but I'm being very, very careful how I approach this small figure. You really do. Now let's look again. We're almost through with him. Dropping him in there, look at that. Putting that top on there. Look at that. Okay, we're almost done. We're going to put the eyes in, which is just going to be a couple of little V cuts. Look at that, here we go. And I got to put a little hair back here. But, okay. We put a little cut in his, let me try to hold it here. There you go. Make a little cut in his thing there, little creases that he's got. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't have anyone to communicate with, and they find out real quick it's not funny. And especially older people that their spouses have died and went on, and their children are grown and moved on or moved out. And okay, all I'm going to do with my eyes is I'm just going to make some little V cuts just like in here, that kind of an angle. Just again, see, do it twice. Put your little eye in there. Come over on this side. You want to be careful now because this is very, very delicate in here. So you see how I'll make several cuts. There we go. I'll make several cuts and look at this. He's put that little eye in there. And there you go. And I'm going to trim that just a little bit. And there's a lot of people that are lonely in this world. And sometimes they just like to hear someone tell stories. I had a young man come on my Facebook the other day, excuse me, my YouTube the other day, and tell me, you know, my grandpa used to be a storyteller and I loved it. He said, I love listening to your stories. And some people do, and there's the people that don't. Those stories don't mean nothing to you, and that's all right. One day you'll want to tell your stories to other people, and they won't want to listen either. It won't be so good. Okay, let me get off that subject. We never think those things are going to happen to us, though. All right. Well, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put a little walking stick into this hand. And all I'm going to do is just drill a hole and take a little toothpick and put down there. And so he's going to have a little walking stick in his hand. But as far as the carving is concerned, it's almost done. Let me go wet him. Okay. Oh, that's another thing. Trying to get up. All right. I wet him a little bit, folks. It doesn't, there's no significance, but you can see better when I wet him, the grain and everything like that. Now, as you can see, he's still pretty dirty with the pencil marks, and that's fine. You just get your little toothbrush. I have an old toothbrush I don't use anymore. And I take it, and I get a little soap. Got a little piece of wood right there. We go. I get a little soap, and I just scrub that down, and gets all those pencil marks out of there. No problem. Now let me get my V-tool, and I'm just going to do a little hair in the back. I have a very small V-tool, if I can find it. Where's my V-tool? Oh, there it is. Little V-tool, and I come back here, just barely make my hair back here. And when you go to paint him, you're going to have to use a small brush, of course, and all that stuff, but he's got his hair back here. And there's our little fella. Now let's look at him again. When he's all painted up, all I said, I'm gonna get a toothpick and drill a little hole in the bottom here with my Dremel. I Dremel with a little drill bit on it, a little tiny drill bit, and glue that stick in there. I mean that I use. Let me tell you something. One of the greatest tools to use with doing that kind of stuff is toothpicks. I'll tell you, I use them to put glue on and all that other stuff, and then I'll use them as little canes, and I even use a toothpick, and I may even put a little cigar in his mouth, in other words, and all that stuff. So that's what I use toothpicks for. But the main thing is, now you don't want it sticking out too far, because you're going to have to put him in the little thing here, in other words. And you want your cane to fit close in. There's a bird just walked up to me. I guess he thinks I got some bread. The old dumb bird. He's not too smart if I hunted him. It's cute though. He just comes walking up there and looking around like he's looking for a handout or something. If I had a piece of bread, I'd give it to him. That's a smart bird. Okay, you just slip him in there, and now you can also you can get these on Amazon. This one I have a little hard time. These black ones, they're a little bit hard to. Now you can get the clear, and you can see them actually inside. But the reason I like the black ones is to be like be sitting there, and somebody says, "Well, what's that?" I said, "Well, it's a 35mm camera thing. We'll pick it up," and then I say, "Open it," and they open it up. Okay, there we go. And there you go. There's your little man inside. And that's called a 35mm canister carving. And this is not something I invented. This is something that people, Jack Price has done it. There were several other people. There was another guy, I can't remember his name. Maybe it was Dave Dunham, I'm not sure. Years and years ago that did a few of these and stuff. But these are 35mm canister film car. And most of you that are young don't remember these. Now everything's digital, but you used to put film in this. Film in your camera. You would had rolls of film, and you would put them in your camera and take it. And then you would take the rolls of film, put it in here, put it in your canister, and bring it to the guy, and he would develop your pictures. But that's way back then, folks. Now you got digital cameras that take all that, and you can take thousands of photos. And I remember in most rolls of films, you only had about, what, 12, 24 pictures. That was about all you could take. And some of them just had 12 pictures you could take before you had to go have them developed. So y'all are blessed these days to be able to have what you have. So anyway, there's our little guy, and I'll fix him up, get him painted, and when it's all, we'll show you and throw him back. Look at that. See, he fits in there just perfect, and the lid goes on top, and just lid back on, and you got your little 35mm canister carving in there. Okay, well, God bless you now, and thank you. And for my buddy, that's how you do a little carving like that. Please be careful. I love this is another little knife I love to use right here. See how little it is? And I mean, it just, you can really get in and just take your time and carve with. But I love the Ron Wells knives so much. Oh gosh, I love it. I love his. And this is a good little knife that I made, and made the handle for it. And I think that's an OCC blade, or OCC blade, or I think it is. I'm almost sure it is. But it's only about 1 inch long, or either that or 1 1/4. I think it's just 1 inch. And little knives like that. And then I made this one. Look at that, see? Now it's a little bit longer. If you look,